We are live. We are live. We are live. We are live. We doing what we do. We do what we do. I'm a little late tonight. Welcome to the Arkatech Beatz music production and beat making tutorial sessions. I'll try to get on at 9 o'clock every night. Sometimes, I was coming from the studio tonight, so a little bit later than normal. But yeah, we're gonna make it work. You know what I'm saying? We're here tonight. We about to make it do what it do. So, for everybody that always kind of joins into the live, I appreciate those folks that jump into the live. Every night we try to get on. We try to do some music production and just show people how to use this MPC and different things. You know what I mean? Shout out Landscape Guy, man. Trying to stick with this streaming thing. I know people be wanting to check in and tap in with me, so I want to just make sure that I'm being consistent on that level. I'm gonna rock with that real quick. Landscape Guy, man, I appreciate you. Let's go. Turning off the, if you notice, that's what we call a one shot. You press it one time and it's like a one shot, it goes off. What I want to do is I want to turn it on, so now it triggers by how long I hold it. So now I can shorten the note, I can trigger the note that way. So there's something to do in the MPC so that you know how to get your drums from one shot to regular. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. We're gonna try to make this do what it do. Let's go. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Shout out Al Muddy, what's going on? Let's get this snare down, man. Let's see what we can get going here. I don't know what that's about. That's weird. Everybody that's joining the live, man. If it's y'all first time here in the live, man, make sure y'all sharing the live, man. Multi-platinum producers, Arkatech Beatz. Let's go. We're waiting for some more people to get in the live before we get busy. Make sure y'all sharing the live. Make sure y'all liking the live. Armada, I see you. Zach, I see you, man. What's up, man? Peace. minutes, we're gonna lay that down. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. We get together every day at 9 o'clock. We're gonna double that up with 2 to 4 bars. Sounds strange. Let's get the first part first. Let's copy the sequence. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. I'm going to break this back down to 4 bars. And then we're going to lay down the first part of the piano. Get that in. Now we're going to go into the arrangement, and we want to make sure that our notes are basically the right length. So I'm going to highlight that and make sure that it goes from the start of the bar to the end of the bar. And the same thing here. We want to kind of make sure that everything is mapped out exactly the way that it needs to be mapped out, that it's touching, so that we have everything on the grid. Now, some people will say, hey, they don't want it on the grid because it seems more natural, like a natural piano being played. But, you know, it all depends on what feel you're trying to go for, you know what I mean? Now I want to do something else. I'm going to select all of it, then I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to transpose this one. I'm going to transpose it down to 1 octave down. Then I want to paste what I had, and now we have double. Now that's too deep now, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to select it all again, copy it, and then we're going to move it back up just 1 octave. And that should give us the sound that we're looking for. Velocity down a little bit, make it softer, so it doesn't hit as hard. to everybody that's in the live. Y'all hear it? Try to find a sound effect for this. Then I can add in. Sound in. And now it's just about a whole lot of ear candy, right? This is Arkatech Beatz. Let's go. Ready, I see you. Let's go. You going Grammy tonight?
Arkatech Beatz.
live, hit that like button, man. We need the likes to go up. Okay, y'all sharing the live with a producer who want to learn, or a rapper that's trying to really get on. Let's go. There's multi-platinum producers. Arkatech Beatz, man. Raekwon, Nas, Big Pun, Jadakiss, The Game, Killer Mike, Freddie Gibbs, Saha the Prince, Meek Mill, you name it, we did it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Making it do what it do. Come on now. I'm gonna double that up. Let me name this beat. Let me save this beat before it goes crazy. I'm gonna name this beat Hit a Lick. No pun intended. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Shout out to everybody that's liking the live. Shout out to everybody that's sharing the live. Shout out to everybody that's sending those gifts, roses, diamonds, whatever y'all sending. I appreciate it. Super chats. Appreciate it. You know you made it. I appreciate you, brother. Let's go. We trying to make some more tracks tonight. We're 30 minutes in. Yeah, I'm exhausted. I had 8 hours in the studio, man. We was working on a movie. So we're doing it, so just trying to get that right. So, if I'm a little slow on the super chats, etc., man, just bear with me. Yeah, I got to get some damn glasses, right? Or I need to make the screen bigger. Yeah, that's real. You see me squinting. I've been looking at my replays. I'm like, I'm squinting at the screen. I'm squinting. I'm like, I can't see the joint. And I got a big-ass screen here. There's a big-ass screen right in front of me. It's really this screen that's to my right that I can't see because this screen got all the TikTok stuff, so that's cool. That screen got the YouTube stuff, but that's further away. So I could see this one. I just can't see the other one. That joint is wild, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna make it do what it do, man. I got glasses in the car, man. I don't be liking to wear no glasses on, man. I be looking weird, man. I be like trying to look crazy. But I'm getting up there in that age, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, bro. Yo, the chat told me to get my glasses. It's crazy. I think I might add an organ to this joint, man. Let me see if I can find the right sound, because a lot of that is, contingent on finding the right sounds. If you can't find the right sounds, it'll be like trash, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's in the live. He said, do I follow Timberland? Yes, me and Timberland follow each other. Yes. Yes, me and Timberland follow each other. Timberland is trying to help me with my initiative to help producers collect money that they might be owed. So if you're a producer out there who have worked on gold and platinum projects, there is a large possibility that there is a bunch of money that is sitting at the label waiting for you to collect it, but you have not done so. And if you wait too long, it will disappear. I'm going to go on to the next beat. I'm just in that type of mood right now. Let me see if I got another sample in here that I could use. There's a click in the beginning of it. We got to try to get it out. So what we're doing is we're trying to find the right part of the wave to start it so that it doesn't have to click, and then that it loops clean. Let's lay that down. Let's lay it down, folks. Let's lay it down. Let's see what we come up with. Poison, what's up? Appreciate that. Now we had to see how we had to tweak the beginning of the sample so that it loops a little bit more clean. You know what I mean? We're trying to make sure that it's looping the way we want it to loop. And then, you know, if your loop is not looping correctly, then it kind of makes it hard for you to continue to make the rest of your beat. So just bear that in mind. You want to try to make sure you remove any pops or any like abrupt changes as it's looping. You try to make it as smooth as possible. Sometimes you can use effects to mask it. You know, maybe reverb or delay, or maybe a little bit of a chorus. Then that'll help to make it sound like it's looping correctly, even though it's not. So Just a little bit of a hack. So let's go. Let's go. That sound is crazy. Try something. I'm gonna try something. Everything is about creativity, right? We're gonna try something. I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna probably try it without a snare, which is, kind of like all the rave now. People like doing it that way. Making beats without drums. You know what I mean? That's all the rave. Kind of like to have something that, shows that you did something, you know what I mean, to the record. Yeah, you hear that? That's crazy right there. That's gonna bust the speaker. Yeah, make sure y'all on that Bluetooth speaker like I always say. Let's go. Let's lay that down. Let's go. We're going. We're gonna try something. We're gonna try something on this. We're gonna do something different. So y'all gotta ride with me on it so you can see like it's different. We're doing something different. We're gonna do something that's unorthodox. We're gonna push the envelope tonight. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. double the sample. I mean, let's double the y'all already know what it is. Come on, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. everybody that's in the live. Shout out to everybody that's liking the live, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. That's the second beat we did tonight. We've been on for an hour already, man. Look at that. That's the time be flying. Let's go back to the first one. Let's listen to that, and then we come back to the second one. Are you ready? Let's go. Peace, Walt. I notice how it sounds different when the lower octave piano is in the track. So listen to the first one, the first sequence that I did that didn't have the pianos on the low, right? It was just regular. You hear the bass line, but no piano. And yo, if y'all in my live, man, y'all supposed to make sure that y'all got Bluetooth speakers. You can't listen to this stuff on your cell phone, man. That's not going to work. Either Bluetooth speakers or you got to go in your car. I know it's late, but listen, you got to listen to my joint loud. Can't listen to my joints on no cell phone. You can't hear no bass. You know, come on. Like, really? Yo, shout out to everybody that's in the live. Shout out to everybody that's liking the live. Shout out to everybody that's sharing the live. I appreciate everybody that's sharing the live. Thank you to the new followers. Remember, we come out every night at 9 o'clock or around that time. Tonight I was late. Like I said, I was coming from a studio session, and I was trying to, get my kids to bed and all that other good stuff. He said he's on his phone. I can only imagine how it sounds on the speakers. Yo, you got to put on the headphones, bro. When you put on headphones, you hear it. But you definitely can't do it on no phone, like, you know what I'm saying? Especially if, need a phone that got bass. Android. Let's go. Let's break this beat down, man, because that's the other part of us going on the live is so that I can basically showcase what I'm doing with these beats. You know what I'm saying? Ricardo's in his truck, so he knows what it is. All right, so on this first track, we got the sample. You hear it? And it's a dope sample, man. That has a whole lot of elements: guitar lick, bass line. If I had more time, I'd probably go into a stem separation, separate the bass line from the guitar lick, so then we can kind of pull those in and out as the beat is going. So that's part of the game too. It's like you have to listen to the elements that you have in your sample, and wherever you got your sample from, sometimes you can stem separate it, you can separate the instruments, and then now you have control over how you want them to come in and out when the beat is going, right? Of course, I got my hat. And the trick that I have with my hats, I always 16 level my hats. There's a thing that we do 16 levels, and it does a velocity where it kind of makes the velocity go up and down, up and down. So it's kind of like somebody that's hitting the hi-hat, but not, every second time they hit it, it's either harder or softer. So it kind of gives it that effect, like it's going like that. So if you listen to it, you hear that, right? So that's the first hat. The second hat is an open hat, I believe. You hear that? So it does. And it's just a trigger. So, it's just real quick. If I hold it all the way down, it does that sound, but we don't want that. We want it to go. So if you've ever played a drum before, it's kind of like, how it is, where you have to open hatch, you have to kind of play with it with your foot. So for those who don't know, you know what I mean? So then, what's the next instrument we got here? I think we got another hat. And this one is like another type of hat. So while the other hat is doing 16 notes, this one is doing 8 notes. So it kind of gives the drum a little bit more bounce, because remember, this is a slow BPM. This is 68, right? So this is not really fast by any stretch. So we try to do that so that we can get those different things to go together. Of course, we got to use a snare. And listen, the snare, like, you got beats and then you got beats. And I could just say that, right? You got beats and then you got beats, right? And depending on the type of drums you use, it's going to make the difference if your beats sound like one way and if it sound another way. So it all comes down to how the sounds that you choose. Like, I can't stress that enough. If you don't want to waste your time, trying to EQ and mix drums, pick the right sounds from the beginning. And then you have less ways to go. If you pick the right sounds, then, that's less that you have to do with that. If you don't have the right sounds, then you have to mix them and EQ them into the rest of the instruments, and that's where it gets tricky, right? So if you want to do that, if that's your thing, you got to do it. It's not my thing. We on the live. We try to make it go as fast as possible. Shout out to everybody that's in the live. Make sure that y'all sharing the live. Make sure that y'all liking the live. Make sure that y'all sending it to a friend. People who want to get into the music business, here go the books. Of course, you got to get Donald Passman's. All you need to know about the music business. You got to know the Musician's Guide to Music Publishing. And then, of course, how to, the ultimate guide to doing your own music LLC. Like, these things are essential if you're going to get in this game. They're essential. You have to get these things. You have to understand what's going on. And listen, as you get into the lives and guys start asking questions, then I'll start giving you more answers, as it relates to, well, what's my publishing company? How do I set that up? How do I what's the split sheet? What's that? What's this? Because people have questions and there's no place to really get answers. And what I do see is people that are giving answers aren't producers. See, that's the issue that I have. Is that people who don't have really experience on this side are the ones kind of telling you what you can and what you can and what you shouldn't and what you can't do and those type of things. And I'm trying to really get people to understand, like, listen, get the information from the people who are really doing it. And that really makes the most sense. Ready? So let's really go with this. Let's listen to how the whole beat came together.
Arkatech Beatz.
Multi-platinum producers, Arkatech Beatz. Right, so that's the one that don't have the piano, right? So now let's play the one with the piano. You hear that? And why do I choose these type of pianos? It's to make the beat sound more sinister. Right? Like, this is supposed to make you want to drive fast. You know what I'm saying? If you're listening to it at the wrong time, you might crash out. But I don't want you to crash out. Ready? Let's go. Remember, we're in this thing to evoke emotions or to inspire. That's what music is supposed to be about. It's supposed to help get you through certain situations. It's supposed to help you vibe out. It's supposed to help you get through certain situations. It's supposed to help you kind of, this is what music is supposed to do. It's supposed to inspire, and it's supposed to get you emotionally charged. If it's not doing that, then you're not doing your job as a musician. If you're an artist or a producer and you're not invoking emotion through your music, you're not doing your job. 'Cause that's the power of music. Let's go. Zach Tyson, I see you. Landscape guy, I see you. King of oneself, I see you. Make sure y'all sharing the live. Make sure y'all liking the live. Make sure y'all following. We're here every night at 9 o'clock. And that was beat number 1 that I call Hit a Lick. This is going to be beat number 2, which I think is my personal favorite, but let's listen and let's go.
Arkatech Beatz.
Shout out to everybody that's in the live. I'm going to save these. I got a few more minutes. I'm going to answer some questions. I'm calling it early tonight. Sometimes we on here 2-3 hours. I ain't going to hold y'all. It just depends on how the beats is rocking. You know what I'm saying? When the beats is rocking, then you know we going. You know, Zach Tyson, tell them what we be doing out here, man. You know, you been in them lives every day, man. You know what it is. Right? So look, we're here at 9 o'clock every day, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We basically are going through music production. We're doing music business. Landscape guy, appreciate you, man. That second one, right? I like the second one, man. It ride, man. Like it just go. Cavelli. Hit me in the DM. Listen, a lot of people have been asking me about these beats, man. And I've been talking with my partner, Mike Trauma D, and what we're probably going to start doing is that whatever we work on the the previous day, like say for example we make some tracks tonight, we're going to probably make it available the next day, but it will be for a limited license. So maybe like if anything we might just do maybe like five licenses, you know what I mean? Like and basically, we're going to basically be in tune with whoever copped the licenses. We're going to be in tune with them so that we can kind of get an idea of what they're doing, where they need help with, so forth and so on. You know what I mean? So like, I want to create a support system. I don't want to just create a situation where, we just giving you the beat and then you're gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not really on that type of time. You know what I mean? Like it's like it got to be able to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like it can't just be, you go through get with the producer and then, you get the beat and then it's like you don't get no feedback, you don't get nothing. You know what I mean? And I don't really like to move like that. So we want to make sure that the people that we're working with, have really are really deserving of being worked with. You know what I mean? So like that's really how we want to put our name on that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really our name that we putting on the line when we do that. So we haven't determined for how much yet. You know what I'm saying? But we haven't determined that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, like there are different things that we're playing around with because, like I said, we want to make sure that we want to offer more. That's the thing. And then also we're trying to build this community. We're trying to build this group out of artists and producers, and we want to build this group out. So we're gonna try to figure it out. We're gonna try to work on it as best way we can work on it. Like I said, hopefully I'm just trying to. I think this is like day number 7 or day number 8 live every night. So just trying to get that going. As far as the live streams, just get consistent with that so folks can understand that they have a support system in us. You know what I mean? Also, make sure y'all checking out the podcast. The Music Business Podcast, Arkatech Beatz Music Business Podcast. If you're trying to learn more, or if you're just trying to look for some entertainment, sometimes we be out there talking our shit. When we see like all this weird stuff happening in the news with like Drake or Kendrick or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be weird. You know what I mean? So we sometimes like to be talking about that type of stuff. It just depends on how what's going on with it. But yeah, you know what I mean? That's what I got for tonight. Does anybody have any questions, man? Ask me anything. I'm going to do it for the next 5 minutes while we play some beats. Like I said, landscape guy, man, we're gonna be offering some licenses, for some tracks as we move forward. So, do I think Universal's gonna pay up? If they play fair. If they don't play fair, then you got Michael Jackson or Prince. You following me? If they play fair, then they may have to pay up. Like the truth of the matter is like this, man. And I know there may be some people in there that may disagree with me, but the system was weaponized, to tear one person down. And I don't know what he did. I don't know what happened in the behind the scenes, but the system was definitely weaponized against, one artist to really devalue that artist. So if it's a sample, how I mix it? The drums. Okay. It's not all a sample. It's the sample is by itself. Did I break this beat down? I don't think I did. Let's break this beat down so you can hear what we did with this one, right? So this one is so this is the sample by itself. Right? And we've pitched it up because it's much slower than that, but I pitched it up by a good amount. And then we put some hats in there. And it's slow. I'm sorry, let me turn it up. Right? We had another hat in there. So I got one hat doing one thing, I got one hat doing another thing. I got one hat doing 1/16, I got one hat doing 1/8, right? In timing. And you can see that by the time code here. Right? I didn't add in a third hat element. I normally have an open hat. And then here we did 2 snares. One is a rim shot and then one is a traditional snare. Right? And that comes in every other bar. Right? And then we have the traditional snare. Right? The other one we put heavy on the reverb. And then this is the kick. And then what we did is we put this effect on it that really boosts the low end to make it sound like it wants to burst your speakers. And when we put it all together, we get this. Who do I follow in the underground? Can we hear a few more what? Oh, can we hear the ones that I played earlier? Yeah, I only did one other beat earlier, and that was this one. When I pitch the sample, I leave the warp function on because I want the tune to stay the same so that we can add additional instruments. If you don't use the warp feature, then when you tune it, you're going to change the when you pitch it, you're going to change the tune. And then when you change the tune, then it gets a little bit difficult for you to try to match up other instruments on top of your samples, if that makes sense. And that's something that we used to have to do back in the day. Meaning if I pitched the sample, I had to tune every instrument. I had to tune my rack to make those sounds be in tune with the sample at that point. Yep, because you changed the key. And that's something that we used to have to master when we were coming up, and all we had was we pitch it, and then it's like, okay, now I want to put a bass line. Like, damn, the bass line don't go. So then we used to have to tune the bass line. Or if I'm using a rack mount sound module, I'd have to go into the master joint and I'd have to tune it. And then when I save the sample, I'd have to go into the track and I'd have to name the sample. Not necessarily name the track and then put the key or put what I tuned it to. Because I'd have to change the master tune on the sound module to get everything to go. So that's just like the tricks that we had to grow up on doing that at the time. But now we got stuff that makes it stay in the key, man. So that makes life like super easier that way. You know what I mean? And then I have some beats from yesterday, but I can't really play those because I got some copyright strikes on my YouTube, so I gotta dispute those. And so if I don't want both videos to get flagged, it don't make sense. You know what I mean? So I like to kind of I typically know what samples I use every video, and then I could work out the situation where I can fight the copyright strikes. Because these guys be playing dirty pool with the samples and stuff. They be trying to claim samples like they say, oh, this, you can't claim samples, bro. It's like you can't content ID samples, man. Yeah, when you pitch in a sample, that don't work, man. That don't work anymore. That used to work, it don't work anymore. You have, the content ID is sophisticated. The AI is gonna detect it being pitched up and down. I think what's happening is that what they try to do is when they load the track up, they load it up in different when they sign it up, they try to load it up in speed up, slow down. Because people do that now. People like to speed up records on TikTok and stuff. So I noticed there's a bunch of guys that used to release some songs sped up. They were speeding it up themselves so that they can get the streams, and that's someone else. So yeah, man, if people are interested, and like I said, we want to try to make the beats available for some folks, but just limited. We're not trying to like be out here like, selling beats like that. Like, we really just selling licenses. So like, if you, depending on what your project is and what the scope of your project is, if say you're saying, hey man, I'm looking to do, 2 to 5 million streams, then we'll do that type of situation, and we'll try to work with cats on that. Because if we're charging our regular fees, people can't really pay that. If that's the case, if we're going around and say, hey, you're not signed, you don't have a major label budget, like charging you head, the arm and the leg, and we're not really on that type of time. And then also we want to create a community of folks that that are learning the music business, and then trying to really move their careers forward and doing it one brick at a time. Because this does take time and it does take money. So I think people, if you're dedicated to it, you can go far. Your talent level will determine, your stardom. Let's put it that way. If you're really talented, then that will make, and you work hard rather, that will determine how far you go. I'm really confused about when folks say audition. Nobody auditions anymore, man. Either you got to go make your records and you got to put them out. That's how it works. That's the audition. The audition is you get your music, and you put it out. There's nobody that puts people on anymore. The system's not designed for that. There are people that can assist you to get in front of more audience, but no one, quote unquote, puts anybody on anymore. Everybody has the same ability to come out and put their music out to the world, and then people make a decision. Yeah, the MPC could be a little tough, man, but I try to break it down and make it easy, because look, this thing could do a lot. It could do a lot. The MPC can do a lot, and you can get lost in it. And that's what I try to tell folks is, don't get lost in it, man. Don't get lost in it. And then sometimes the beats that I make on live are not that intricate. They're not. They're not what I would normally. That, like, if given the amount of time that I normally would put into a record, like it's I'm gonna use my MP, then I'm gonna go over to my keyboard, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Like, it just depends. So I try to do stuff fast because I want people to realize how easy it is to do it. That's the first thing. The second thing I want people to understand is that, listen, if you coming on live with us, or you coming on live with me, you're gonna definitely learn the process to get you up and going as far as making beats, right? And then you're having a situation where you're learning how to do it, and you're learning the shortcuts. Now, I won't say shortcuts, but you're learning ways to make it more efficient. Now, I got you, landscape guy, man. I'm you know what I mean. So do I have a favorite beat that I have since we've been doing the live? Do I have a favorite beat? Yeah, there's a beat that I did the other night that I'm holding out for Max B when he get home. Yeah, everybody know that we did the Max B Why You Do That. So, that's our record, and, that's one of Max's favorite records, one of his biggest records. So, when he come home, he looking for us to give him more of that. How I like the 3.0. The 3.0 is dope, man. But, I just got the MPC. I ain't going to hold you. I just got this MPC in September. I was using FL Studio. I was using Serato. I have an MPC 2000 XL. It's in the closet. I got a machine, but I don't really use that. You know what I'm saying? But, once you have an MPC, or once you've been using an MPC, it's like riding a bike, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it not really... If to be honest, the 3.0 is better than the one previous, because to me this is more like the classic MPC, in my opinion. But like I said, I just tried to make it easy, man. Like, I don't want people to make it complicated. Like, yeah, I could, like in my kits, for example, right? Like Bank A has all kick drums. Now, some people you'll see have all of their drums on here. One will have a kick, one will have a snare, one will have a hi-hat, and they'll finger drum. Right? I don't knock it. But remember, I come from the era where all the instruments needed to be separated. So that's why we got into the mind frame of laying down one track at a time, because all of the instruments had to be separated. There was a situation where if you didn't have 8 outputs, you used to have to play the beat 8 different times. So if you had 8 different instruments, you had to lay the beat down 8 different times and play one instrument at a time. Like, that's how it used to be. So we got used to the mind frame of laying instrument by instrument and not doing everything on one track, if that makes sense. Shout out to everybody that's sharing the live, man. Shout out to everybody that's doing the diamonds. Like, shout out to everybody that's in the live, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm dead tired though. I ain't gonna hold you. It's like, and when I get off the live, it's like I can't sleep. so I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like, I feel like I'm tired, and then when I get off the live, it's like, yo, I can't sleep. Like, you know what I mean? No sense. It's like it's retarded. But yeah, we're going to be on tomorrow again at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Listen, share it with a friend. Share it with people. Let people know that's what we're doing. If you want to learn how to do it, you want to learn how to do the MPC, share it with everybody. Share it with folks so folks know that we on here. If you want to watch the past live streams, those are on YouTube. TikTok don't hold those. Twitch don't hold it for too long. Neither does Kick. They don't hold it long. But YouTube, it lives forever on YouTube. So you can always go back to those to watch those and see which beats I did on those. And, you can definitely check those out. Like I said, man, I'm definitely going to start looking into the whole licensing thing. And then also I'm looking into making sure that we can create a system where once I'm finished with the live, then the people that are part of the community, they can meet me at a different location or a different space online, and then there people could jump on, and then we can really have like one-on-one conversations. Not really one-on-one conversation, but a group conversation. But it'll be a little bit more intimate because it's not like a bunch of chats run at the same time. So I'm going to play these beats again, and then I'm going to get up out of here. Got to play the one with the piano when see I'm wrong. welcome, y'all, man. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, man. 9 o'clock, man. 9 o'clock. Hey, man, you came late, man. I know you telling me no, but you came late, man. We've been making beats since 9 o'clock. Yo, Zach, I see you, man. I appreciate you. Like I said, we'll be back here at 9 o'clock tomorrow. All right, y'all.